If you've been following Linux news lately, you've probably seen dramatic headlines claiming that Ubuntu is forcing AI on Linux users. Some say Canonical is turning Ubuntu into a data harvesting machine. Others claim that AI features are being silently embedded into the operating system. And, of course, there are concerns about privacy, telemetry, and whether Linux is losing its soul. So today, on Linux Chronicle, we're going to break this down calmly, technically, and honestly. Is Ubuntu really forcing AI on users? Or is this just another case of misunderstanding amplified by social media? First, let's step back and understand the context. AI is everywhere right now. From operating systems to browsers to development environments, artificial intelligence features are becoming standard across the tech industry. Microsoft is embedding AI deeply into Windows. Apple is building its own AI stack into Mac OS and iOS. Google is integrating AI across Android and Chrome OS. So the real question is not whether AI is being added to Ubuntu. The real question is how it's being added, what it does, and whether users still have control. Canonical, the company behind Ubuntu, has been talking openly about AI integration for quite some time. Their messaging has largely focused on enterprise AI, cloud AI workloads, and machine learning infrastructure. Ubuntu is one of the most popular operating systems in cloud environments, powering massive portions of AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud instances. When Canonical talks about AI, they're often talking about enabling AI development and deployment, not injecting chatbots into your desktop. One of the biggest drivers behind the Ubuntu is forcing AI narrative comes from announcements about AI-focused packages, snaps, and system integrations. For example, Canonical has been promoting AI toolkits, machine learning frameworks, and containerized AI environments optimized for Ubuntu. This includes better support for CUDA, improved drivers for GPUs, and curated AI stacks for developers. Some users interpret this as Ubuntu shifting focus away from traditional desktop users and toward AI enterprises. But enabling AI development is very different from forcing AI features on end users. Let's address a major concern directly. Is Ubuntu collecting your data to train AI models? As of now, Ubuntu does not secretly collect personal data to train generative AI systems. Ubuntu has optional telemetry that was introduced years ago, but it's opt-in and transparent. During installation, users can choose whether to send system information back to Canonical. This data includes hardware configuration and installations statistics, not personal files or browsing history. There is no hidden AI surveillance engine inside Ubuntu scraping your home directory. Another concern revolves around Snap packages. Snap has been controversial in the Linux community for various reasons. centralization, performance issues, startup time, and Canonical's control over the Snap Store. Recently, AI-related applications distributed via Snap have led some to believe that Ubuntu is bundling AI functionality by default. However, installing Ubuntu does not automatically install a generative AI service. If AI tools are present, they are typically installed intentionally by users or administrators. Now let's talk about the desktop experience. As of current stable Ubuntu releases, there is no built-in system-wide AI assistant similar to Windows Copilot. There is no persistent AI sidebar watching what you do. There is no mandatory AI search integration that sends your queries to external servers. The GNOME-based Ubuntu desktop remains largely traditional. If you install Ubuntu today and disconnect it from the internet, it will function exactly as expected without any hidden AI dependencies. So where is the confusion coming from? A lot of it stems from announcements around Canonical's AI partnerships and enterprise offerings. Canonical has been working on AI orchestration tools for Kubernetes, optimized AI images for cloud deployment, and integration with frameworks like TensorFlow and PyTorch. When people hear Ubuntu AI image or AI-optimized Ubuntu, they imagine consumer-level AI tracking. In reality, these images are for developers who want pre-configured environments for machine learning workloads. It's also important to understand Canonical's business model. Ubuntu itself is free and open source. Canonical makes money through support contracts, enterprise services, cloud partnerships, and specialized solutions. AI is currently one of the biggest drivers of enterprise spending in the tech industry. Naturally, Canonical wants Ubuntu to be the preferred operating system for AI workloads. That means investing in performance optimization, security hardening, and container orchestration for AI applications. This is about infrastructure, not forcing AI into your terminal. That said, we should not dismiss community concerns entirely. The Linux community values transparency, user control, and minimalism. When Canonical talks about AI, some longtime users worry about creeping complexity. They worry that future releases might bundle AI services by default. They worry about centralization, especially given Snap's design. These concerns are not irrational. They're based on past controversies, such as the Amazon search integration incident years ago, which damaged trust. Let's briefly revisit that historical moment. In older Ubuntu versions, local search results in the Unity desktop included Amazon product suggestions. This was widely criticized as invasive and unnecessary. Canonical eventually removed the feature after community backlash. That episode left a lasting memory in the Linux world. So when people hear AI integration, they remember that time and fear history repeating itself. However, there's a key difference. The Amazon integration directly affected desktop search behavior. Current AI-related initiatives are largely focused on development and cloud deployment. There is no default Ubuntu installation that injects AI-powered ads into your workflow. If anything, Ubuntu's recent desktop releases have focused more on Wayland, stability, performance improvements, security features like TP-M-backed full disk encryption, and better hardware support. Another angle worth discussing is open source AI. Some users argue that even enabling AI development on Ubuntu contributes to broader ethical concerns about artificial intelligence. They feel that by promoting AI tooling, Canonical is supporting an industry that may have privacy, labor, or societal implications. This is a philosophical debate rather than a technical one. Ubuntu, like most operating systems, provides tools. What developers build with those tools is a separate matter. There's also the question of default packages. Some Linux users prefer extremely minimal installations. They worry that future Ubuntu versions might include AI runtimes by default, consuming resources or increasing attack surface. So far, there is no evidence that Ubuntu Desktop ships with preloaded large language models or AI inference engines running in the background. AI libraries may be available in repositories, but they are not forced into the base system. If you look at Ubuntu server, the situation is similar. Canonical provides optimized images for AI workloads, but those are optional downloads. A standard Ubuntu server installation does not automatically configure AI clusters or download machine learning frameworks unless you explicitly choose those options. It's also helpful to compare Ubuntu's approach with other Linux distributions. Many distributions are integrating AI tooling into their repositories. Fedora, Arch, Linux, Debian, and OpenSUSE all provide machine learning packages. The difference is often branding and marketing emphasis. Canonical actively promotes Ubuntu as a leading AI platform in cloud environments. That marketing language can create the impression that AI is being pushed onto everyone, even though the actual technical implementation remains modular. Now let's talk about future possibilities. Could Canonical eventually integrate AI-powered desktop features? It's possible. Many companies are exploring AI-assisted coding, document summarization, and system automation. If Ubuntu introduces such features, the critical question will be whether they are optional, transparent, and open source. The Linux community will not accept a closed, mandatory AI service embedded deep into the system without control. One reassuring factor is that Ubuntu is built on open source components. If Canonical were to add something controversial, the codebase would be examined. Developers would fork it if necessary. The Linux ecosystem has checks and balances. If Ubuntu ever truly forced invasive AI features, users could migrate to Debian, Linux, Mint, Fedora, or other distributions. That competitive environment naturally limits how far any single company can push unpopular changes. Let's also consider the security aspect. AI workloads often require significant compute resources and access to GPUs. Canonical's work on secure AI infrastructure includes sandboxing, container isolation, and vulnerability patching. From a security standpoint, enabling robust AI development tools on Linux can actually strengthen the ecosystem by ensuring that AI deployments follow best practices rather than relying on insecure ad hoc setups. Another factor fueling rumors is misunderstanding around package recommendations. Sometimes, when users install certain meta packages or development environments, AI-related dependencies are pulled in automatically. This can give the impression that AI components are being silently added. But in most cases, this is simply dependency resolution at work, not forced system-wide AI integration. So, is Ubuntu forcing AI on Linux users? Based on current evidence, the answer is no. Ubuntu is positioning itself as a strong platform for AI development and enterprise workloads. It is not embedding mandatory AI assistance into the desktop, nor is it secretly harvesting user data to train models. The narrative of forced AI appears to be driven more by marketing language and community skepticism than by technical reality. However, staying vigilant is important. Open source thrives on scrutiny. If Canonical introduces AI features in the future, users should read release notes, examine source code, and test installations. Blind trust is never healthy, but neither is unfounded panic. For your channel Linux Chronicle, this topic is powerful because it highlights the tension between innovation and tradition in the Linux world. Ubuntu sits at the intersection of community-driven, open source, and corporate-backed enterprise strategy. AI is currently the biggest technological wave, and Canonical wants Ubuntu to ride that wave. That does not automatically mean desktop users are losing control. At the end of the day, Linux remains about choice. If you want a minimal system with zero AI tooling, you can build one. If you want a powerful AI development workstation running on Ubuntu with CUDA, acceleration, and container orchestration, you can do that too. The flexibility of Linux is its greatest strength. The truth behind Canonical's AI push is less about forcing and more about positioning. Ubuntu wants to remain relevant in a rapidly evolving industry. AI workloads dominate cloud computing discussions. Enterprises demand optimized platforms. By ensuring Ubuntu is AI-ready, Canonical protects its market share and attracts developers. But readiness is not coercion. Marketing emphasis is not system-level imposition. So next time you see a headline claiming that Ubuntu is forcing AI on Linux users, take a breath. Look at the technical details. Install a fresh copy. Monitor network traffic. inspect running services. The power of Linux is that you can verify claims yourself, and that's the real story. Not fear, not hype, but transparency, scrutiny, and informed choice. On Linux Chronicle, our goal is not to amplify panic, but to analyze technology with clarity and depth. AI is coming to every platform. The key question is whether users maintain control. For now, Ubuntu users still do. And as always, in the Linux world, if that ever changes, the community will respond.